Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Aiden Smith here with the Paint Your Path podcast, and we got Joel Mercado. What's up, bro?
What up? What up? How's it going, brother?
Good, man. It's good to have just a one-on-one,
Yeah.
just a OG pod,
That's right, baby.
Yeah. Dude, we are in still the first quarter, right, of the
Yep.
year. How's everything going? You don't got to get any specifics, but just generally, just with business, life, goals.
Honestly, man, I would say things are kind of a different season this year. Usually the first quarter, I always try to push hard, but like business all around has been great on lead generation, things like that. And I think all the past efforts are leading to this first quarter. In terms of my life right now, man, I've just been doing a lot of soul searching, dude.
Yeah.
Like, getting into the coaching space and being introduced to just a new world, I would say.
Yeah.
Last year, I was kind of like just in what I call beta mode, just like, all right, let's do trial and error. Let's see how things are going. And I don't know, I've just been really kind of soul searching a little bit more this year. This
Yeah.
last year, it's been realigning my goals and really just thinking about, okay, what am I truly going to want to do moving forward?
Yeah.
A lot's changed for me. So it's been weird, and I'm not going to announce those things just yet because they're not concrete, but I definitely am taking a different direction. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I would say you're not just getting into it, you're like taking it by storm, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of things you're doing are like really high level stuff,
Yeah.
like setting yourself up for a bigger future than you probably even expected in this space. Obviously, you knew you were going to do big things, but just the way it kind of developed for you, maybe you didn't maybe think it
Yeah.
was going to be this exact route.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that? I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, obviously, like I spoke in Canada in January, right? And that was
That's kind
based.
of what I'm getting at. Yeah, just like
Yeah. Like,
even when you're talking about things playing out, you're like, dude, I didn't even, couldn't imagine
yeah. Like,
myself.
it was wild. If you think about it, like, you have a goal, right? And you're like, hey, I'm like last year, I was like, I'm going to start coaching 1-to-1. We'll see what comes about it. I love it. It's fun. We'll see what happens, right? And then that morphed into I want to start speaking, and then I just said it out loud. I wasn't like really seeking it, and then obviously PaintCon happened, and through PaintCon, I got hired to go to Canada and actually have my first like paid speaking gig, and that was exciting. And then I was like, man, I want like 4 more of those this year. So then it just starts going, okay, where do I go from there? Um, Obviously been investing a lot of money into the coaching side of things, doing stuff with the Elliott Group and trying to build this new community. And it's a lot and a lot fast, right? Because like
Yeah.
those of you that know me, I'm not the best tech savvy guy, right? Like just the other day in one of the calls, the guys were like, "Oh yeah, I was on Snapchat, Joel. What do you do on Snap?" I was like, "I don't have Snapchat, man." Like everybody's cracking up, like this guy, right? But a lot of things are moving fast. Sponsoring Pretty Boy Paint Festival.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, he's going to be out here on the West Coast. So Surf Prep and Apollo Sprayer is sponsoring it. And then I sponsored it to have a booth there. So there's just so many different things going on. That's why I said, like, I'm kind of searching on really changing and shifting certain things for myself because my goals have changed very quickly.
Yeah.
And I usually don't do that. I'm pretty steady. But right now, goals are happening so fast that I have to adapt and I have to move quicker. So
Yeah.
that's the phase I'm in right now. So that's why it's kind of like I'm not being very clear because there's just so many things going on.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, man, and I'm seeing the same thing for you. So tell us a little bit about that for you too, and how things are shifting for you and how that's propelling things for you as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, just an outside looking in on your stuff, it's been like cool to watch and see it progress. Like being a part of your groups, right? Like, I mean, I think one of the underrated things about you and just knowing you is you take it very seriously, right? So every decision you make is very, hey, like I want to get the best for my people and my group. Like even launching your new group, you said, hey, the guys that have been with me, I'm going to take care of you, and
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff kind of speaks volume of just who you are. But like, I don't know, it's been cool. It's been fun. I would even say to even be a part of it, which is awesome. And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, like you said, right? Things change very quick. So like even when I talked to you recently about like the whole, hey, I'm going to be hiring somebody in my organization. Here's what I think. What do you think? And you were like, hey, don't be too dialed in on like the, oh, what's your 5-year goal or your 10-year, whatever plan, because it changes quick. I mean,
Yeah.
even for myself, I looked at myself and I was like, yeah, it is true. If somebody asked me 5 years ago, what do I see myself right now? I wouldn't say I'd be a painting coach,
Yeah.
it's just like one of those things that when opportunities arise and you don't kind of know how life, hits you with certain stuff. And then you're like, dang, I actually like this.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Um,
For me, man, just been trying to stay consistent. I've been like a wild entrepreneur, kind of growing up in a way. I'd be at a job and I'd be like, nah, I want to own a business. And then I'd get kicked in the butt in the business. And I'd be like, all right, let me go back and get my bills paid because this ain't working. Like
yeah.
just like off and on. And, in that course, I think you make a lot of people upset, because you're like jumping around and nobody wants that. And nobody wants to be around that energy. One, because you're too wild. Even if it's a big opportunity, they're like, Aiden, like you could change your life working for us. Nah, I got my own plans. It's just one of those weird things. So for me, I've just focused on like steadfastness. Like, hey, here's what I want to focus on. Be all in. And when I hear chirps of, hey, Aiden, we could do this together. Hey, Aiden, we could, do this venture. You can bring this. I can bring this. Kind of just like before, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Try and figure out a way. Now it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm pretty cool what I'm doing. And I'm just like going, man, just going in one direction. It feels really good.
Dude, I love that you say that because I was the same way. Every opportunity that came in, I was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But now I believe if I'm hearing you right, you're at a point now, you're like, okay, this is the thing I'm doing, and I cannot be distracted from this thing, right? Like, and I think I'm in the same boat, right? Like, I've opened up to so many opportunities. There's a lot of partnerships and things that people want to do, but then you really have to sit back and question and go, okay, what's the motive behind the partnership?
Yeah.
And it's not like questioning character or integrity. It's just like there's also a motive behind it. Like, why are you trying to hop into a partnership with me right now? Right. And
100%.
is this going to take away from the mouths that I promised I would take care of? That's the phase I'm in. And I feel like without you saying it in that literal sense, you're in that same mindset, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
especially because we're around a lot of high level individuals. So it's attractive to see, hey, what could happen? What if we did put our stuff together or take on this, challenge that's in the market? What would that look like? But I've
Yeah.
already done that with my own businesses. You know what I mean? I'm already going to war every day for my own stuff. So one, I don't want to be spread thin, but now also I got other people that are leaning on me,
Yes.
like just recently. And I wanted to talk about this on the Nick pod because he's such a great example of like collaboration over competition. But I got guys that, they're in my coaching. And at one point I was under the, I would say I set the expectations that, hey, there would be no competition. Like, hey, if I'm working in, whatever Mississippi and you're in Mississippi in that town, I can't work with anybody. Ideally, that's the way it goes, but I'm not a marketer. I'm more
Yeah.
of a strategizer, SOPs, right? Systems. And it's like, it's a little different because I'm not directly supplying you jobs, right? I'm kind of giving you the know how to go out and get it and set it up properly. So basically, like when I'm doing these ventures and I'm focusing on my own thing, I have other people I have to think about that I'm already in bed with in a way as well.
Yeah.
So not
Yeah.
only my own circle, my own clients and the people that I'm going to bat for every single day, but I can't just go off on a tangent and leave them deserted, if that makes sense.
100%.
It's just
100%.
so it's a weird spot, but it keeps me grounded, which is cool
Yeah. Dude,
in a weird way.
I love hearing that though, because a lot of people don't see things like that. So this is the cool part about us ripping stuff like this on the pod is that we're just being real about what we're currently going through. And
Facts.
here's the other thing too, right, brother? Is like, and I hope our listeners take this concrete advice. it is easy to see the shiny object. It is easy to see the quote unquote potentials. It is easy to leave the one thing that may not feel like it's working out and to go to the thing that may seem like it would work out better, right? So don't take the easy route, right? And like you said, the steady, the concrete decisions allow you to make the right decisions. And I think a lot of people forget about that and they get too distracted and then it derails everything.
Yeah,
Literally everything they've built, literally everything that they're working hard on just goes away, right?
exactly.
So um,
That's
I've
kind of
been
what I was
pretty.
trying to get across. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad you cleared that up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you some questions too because I know like lately I've been getting a lot of feedback from people listening to the podcast. What do you see as a commonality right now through your coaching? Like some struggles that people are going through. Um, that can be subjects we can talk about today, and maybe some listeners that are going through it right now can take something and apply it and do it based off your.
Yeah. No, no, no. I actually got one, a really good one. So, people that go into the sale and don't properly pre-qualify or have their standards to a point where they set the tone early enough. So what I mean
Mm,
by that is you're acting as a growing business when you're smaller. You're trying to grab at every opportunity that's out there. So if there's a potential lead, even though you know there's some red flags that you catch early on, you're kind of just like, hey, but my guys have an opportunity to get this work. This could keep them busy. We can at least get them paid for the next couple of days if I get this job, right? And it's like, even if I have the chance of getting it, I'll go out there and make the time. But then they end up with a bad customer. They don't properly go through all the steps because they're trying to make things work to get the job. And then now their guys are frustrated. They didn't make the money they wanted. The customer said, hey, the price wasn't what I want. And then they compromise on that. So what happens is they operate out of desperation instead of not skipping or not following all the steps in order to do it properly.
yes, I love that you say that because I'm going through the same thing. I tell the guys, I gave advice for a newer company. He's specializing on cabinets. I told him, hey man, it's easy for you to hear everyone else telling you, hey, just lower your price, just keep the job so that you can stay busy. Again, that goes back to earlier what we were just talking about. That's the easy thing to do, right? The right thing to do is to hold the value and make sure you take care of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people are going to probably stick to the one thing I'm saying right now, but if you build your foundation right the first time, then you don't have to go into that position of desperation because if you're booking out in advance, that gives you strength. Now
Mm,
you're not selling out of desperation and necessity. You're selling out of want and out of service, right? Um, and I think that's important for people to identify like, hey, am I doing it out of desperation? Okay, let me backtrack. What am I doing wrong in terms of what I did in my business? There's nothing wrong with you saying, let me take a step back. Let me take a look at this and go, okay, my guys aren't hitting their numbers and they're discounting, and then we're not hitting the numbers on production. We're getting bad reviews, right? Like, what does that cost your business and not
exactly.
taking that job at all?
Yep.
That's the problem I'm seeing a lot. So I love we're so aligned right now.
Dude. And it's one
Yeah.
of the reasons that, I invested so heavy on the best vendors initially for my business because I don't want to be talked down or be in that position where I have to compromise. And I trust that my sales system allows me to be in a better position to do so. But sometimes you do just run into those guys that are just sticklers and you have
Yeah.
to figure it out. So I've been doing a really good job of not only, standing my ground, even though it may cost us a few days before they actually commit to it and we figure out the pricing and whatnot, but also being way more aggressive in the pre-qualification process. So I've been doing a lot of admin training for people as well as
Nice.
myself. We just brought on one, and she's awesome. But I have to let her know, like, hey, I don't want you to just set the appointment because that's your job, and your job is to just have the highest set rate. I want you to set that appointment because you genuinely feel this is a great opportunity for us as a business. So when you hear somebody with low energy or like kind of just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can come out. I don't care what time, I want you to check them or at least just say, hey, in order for us to give you the best experience, this is what it looks like. Does that sound okay? We've enacted a job price minimum. So when we hear people like that may be budget conscious, we go into deeper talks. And I'm okay if she says, hey, that person, let's do a virtual estimate for them. I've been doing a lot more of them because nothing's worse than driving 45 minutes, doing the sale, getting that person that was just price conscious, driving all the way back. You waste all that time, you know?
And you
So
lose the opportunity of the potential customer that you could have
yeah,
had it for. Yeah.
that's the
Agreed.
worst. So I've been doing a lot of searching. I call it red flag energy.
Nice.
Just a lot of seeking that.
RFP.
Yeah. And just a lot of seeking that and figuring out, like, you know what? Let me give a virtual estimate to this person. It'll take me
Yeah.
15 minutes. If it's an exterior, I don't have to ask for much. We're good to go.
Nice, dude. I love that. So you saying that you started converting to that. How's that working for you? Is it starting to kind of get put in place a little bit better as you first mentioned it a while ago?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was gonna roll out, and we've found that it's not the best to maybe market it right and say, "Hey, virtual estimate." Maybe that will come and people will warm up to it. But we've found that like if we talk to somebody and whether they're just not willing to hop on the phone or they're just asking a bunch of questions and are price conscious, hey, we could save both each other time. And if you don't mind, I could give you a video presentation of the estimate for you. You know, how's that sound? Just send me a couple pictures, any problem areas, and we're good. Just like I explained last time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's been going good, man. I mean, we just finished the job actually 50% margins. We got a testimonial coming up, video testimonial. Um, but because we went above and beyond, we sent him a Loom video explaining everything, explaining us, explaining the scope of work. Um, we gave him references that he can call, and he did call them. And he was like, "All right, you are who you say you are." So that's why it's so important to have those high end, websites, content, because now people they trust you already, and you don't even have to technically meet them, which is cool.
I love that, dude. So you're pretty much saying you're building authority based off of your process. They're seeing you digitally, and then boom, it just makes sense for them too.
Yeah, it's easy. Some people are really busy. They really just can't take the time to meet with you. That happens.
Wow, dude, I love that. We still don't do virtual ones like that. So maybe I'll kick my team into gear and try that out. So
Yeah, we're gonna be building it out pretty good. Like right now, I'm just kind of testing the water, see if it even works. So we've landed 2 jobs through it recently. So we're gonna continue, and once we find a system that's like foolproof that works all together, we'll be putting it out there. You know how it
oh,
goes.
yeah, oof.
Yeah,
Virtual
it's been
estimates,
cool.
guys. You hear that on the pod today.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
dude, for me, just like that red flag energy, just man, I don't want to waste my time. And you get a lot, especially on Facebook, you get a lot of tire kickers. So
100%. And
yeah.
that's a cultivating type lead gen, right? Like you have to cultivate it. You have to make sure that you're able to do a great job with that type of lead to even convert them into a job, right? And people don't understand. You have to understand that on Facebook leads, any
Oh
kind of
yeah, it's a
digital lead,
whole system.
100%. Um, Man, Aiden, I love that. So cool. You got my brain going a little bit on the virtual side of things. What else do you see? And the reason why I'm asking you, it's almost like I'm interviewing you, right? Because like I think a lot of guys are starting to catching that we're all seeing the same things in the industry.
Yeah.
And by building that value on the content here on our podcast, like we're starting to get a lot of feedback from people like, hey, I implemented exactly what you guys talked about. Notice what I just
100%.
said, guys. I implemented what you guys are talking about. And I think that's a missing key, right? Like people are hearing stuff, they think we're going to say something different or we're going to be like, oh, this is this new magical thing. No, it's consistency. It's taking action of something that you see a problem is. When you get advice, you take action. So what do you feel like another thing in your community is like a commonality for you that you're seeing in our industry?
Another thing would be forgetting about relationships. I
Ooh,
mean, people feel like they can just spend more money on Facebook or Google or buy more marketing type, lead generation services, and that's going to be the end all be all to get them business. And then they run dry on their money because they're not really supplementing with the in-person stuff, the relationships, the easy, I think it's the easy stuff that's available. as long as you're willing to go out and get it, right? I'll
Yeah.
shout out a guy, actually. His name is, his company's name's Guardian, Guardian Pro Painting. And he's out there doing donut runs every day, out there
So, like business development,
getting
relationship
it,
type
bro.
style.
Yes, he
Yeah.
understands where he's at in his business, and he's like, I need to go all in and take the, take the mantle and get out there, shake hands, build relationships, get our name to where we're a household name for these guys and they can rely on us. Because, once you get in the door, a lot of times they're not trying to find somebody else. They're like, look, we got our guy. Why do we have to go and vet and test out another person? Let's just keep giving it. And I got a guy in my coaching. He does custom home builds with this one company. They're 80% of his business, and he makes about 70% on his jobs. I swear, through a custom
Wow,
home
dude.
builder. While
Yeah.
you're out there trying to get these lead gen services, he's out there with a stable relationship of work that's going to continue to keep him busy.
Yeah.
But now he came to us and said, "Hey, we need to kind of diversify because if they do turn it off, right? There's no intention of that happening, but just in case, we're just getting a little worried." So it's
Wow, dude.
cool.
I love that. We actually, I'm starting to finally see the results of that. We're doing the same thing. Maybe not donut runs, but right now we've been doing. Do you guys have a lot of HOA out there in Florida?
Oh my gosh, you don't even know.
Okay, so what we did was we got with. We don't have Dunn Edwards, but you guys have Sherwin, right? And on
Yeah.
Sherwin's website, they actually have HOA developments, and you just need to search the area and you can get the HOA contact. So what we've been doing internally in another state right now is we're emailing all the president, like the board presidents of HOA communities every day, like 20 to 30 emails a day. Boom, boom, like clockwork. And we've actually been able to get, right now we're proposing 3 different jobs. That's going to be about 400,000 plus because we're doing the whole community. And that's just from emailing
Mm,
every day to all these
yeah.
people. And they're like, oh, thanks. We're looking for a trusted contractor. Like, it's wild that it's just us sitting there emailing, blasting, boom, boom, boom. And we already have their colors because we have the email list. We have the HOA list. We know
Boom.
their colors that are pre-approved, right? So we did that. That's been working for us too. Another thing we've been doing too is working with like local network groups that
Mm,
are specific to trades only. So we found one in Arizona. It's called Scale 8, and the owner of it, he's a roofing contractor. He does like $12 million in sales a year, and he's like, I'm going to create my own network group, and it's
mm,
just all blue collars. So we're just networking within each other. Like, hey, you got a roof done? Okay, great. Well, we have a painter for you, and
yeah.
we created this like vendor list within our own community, and we're just getting jobs from that as well. So it's like you don't only have to do lead gen that way, right? Like
Yeah.
it's you build those relationships like that, and that's actually been changing our market out there because like in Arizona, it's been rough. There's
Mm-hmm.
like I think every painter's baby's baby knows how to paint. Like that's how
Yep.
many painters are out there, right? So I'm glad you mentioned that because that kind of just sparked me to mention what we're doing differently this year.
Dude,
It's
think
huge.
yeah, and like I was reading Russell Brunson book, and he's like, we have to be, as like the coach, the human guinea pig, right?
Yes.
So a lot of the ideas that we're doing that are a little outside of the box that we're testing on our own companies to try and see what works, and then we give that value once we know, okay, this is a concrete proof. This is, hey, this is what it did for our company. Here's how you do it, and then we kind of put that out there, and that's valuable to people, right? So you can cut that time and not say, oh, you know, I can now know that when I get on with a Joe, when I get on with an Aiden, I use his tactics, and boom, here's the money I'm making. Here's the results we're getting. Here's the profits we're going to be getting from that. So I love that, dude.
Yeah,
And
man.
another thing is like when people say, oh, how can I hire a sales rep? I don't even got enough appointments for myself. And it's like, you are not thinking the right way. This
Yes.
guy can be an outbound sales rep, also hybrid, right?
Yes.
When I
Yeah.
worked for a large GC out in South Carolina with that company, every single day before we had, or because it was a new location, right? They already had an established like whole business, but the new location needed help, and that's why they brought me in. So every single day I was pounding the pavement, pounding the calls, pounding the emails. I had a spreadsheet that I still have to this day that I give to my clients, and it is color coded. All the people that we got in contact with, you should see all the green, but I was doing it for that company. Why not do it for your own company? Right.
Yes.
All these relationships that all it took is couple weeks of just grinding, you know?
I think what you notice how you said, why not do it for your own? Is people get complacent, they get lazy,
Yeah.
and then they depend on one source of income or one source of anything, right?
Yeah.
Leads. And, the one thing I love that you mentioned too is like, and here's the craziest part, right? The power of the internet is so ridiculous. Like, we've also been liking other contractors stuff in our area. So like roofers, plumbers, electricians. We're actually doing the bid today for a Marriott hotel based off the guy who's doing the roof at the Marriott hotel. Is like, hey man, I love your digital presence. I've been watching your social media. He reached out to us and said, I
Yes.
have a lead for you. We didn't ask for a lead. We just kept liking his stuff. We kept commenting on his stuff like, hey, we really love your work. We could see that you're a quality contractor. A contractor with a contractor giving each other love and respect.
Yep.
And eventually he came back to us and said, hey, I got a lead for you. We didn't even ask for anything. That goes to show you that how much stuff we're not utilizing to benefit and make more powerful into our own businesses because we're so in our like tunnel vision, right? Like it's wild the resources we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that circles back again, like you said the word. Today's word should just be implementation,
100%.
right? Like we're giving free nuggets of things we've dealt with. The question is, are you going to do it?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah. And it's funny because like we didn't even know we were going to hop on here and start talking about this, but it's because this is how we're wired. And we automatically think like, wait, you're not doing this?
Yes.
You know? Like it's so funny. I talked to so many people that they're like, I know that's a thing, but I never just I never did it, you know? I just never took the time, or I started it and I kind of just fell off, you know, because whatever the case may be. What's cool is in my mind, and this is just me, when you're starting out or even in general, I think your admin should be like a net positive for your business financially, right? They should be not only helping you with the set rate, where I have a guy right now who's paying 1% of the total sales monthly revenue to his admin just because she's setting him up for success on the sale, right? Because think about it, that initial call, if you know you're getting 1% commission for every time he sells, you're going to be like, hey, Sharon, how's it going? Right? You're going to be on top of it. You're going to be following up with them. You're going to be going above and beyond to make sure that you're setting that sales rep up for success. So now you have some skin in the game. I mean, it's just a perfect marriage, right? And for us, right, we don't have like crazy amount of leads to where, you know, I can do that right now, but eventually – right now we have her cold calling local builders, local realtors, local management companies to see if it's a good fit. And if it's a good fit, then she gets the meeting with me. So it's just cool because I have a mini sales rep on my team. And just on her downtime, hey, there's not many leads coming in right now. Make some calls, do some email, do some follow-ups. Like this is simple stuff that everybody can be doing. And mine's overseas, right? So I'm just like, hey, Annie, you are in an office in Orlando, Florida. All right. Don't think anything different. She has her picture on the signature. Boom. Make this happen. And it's been going really good. We've been getting a lot of people sending their documents and saying, hey, we're ready. We have, you know, complexes in your area. So I'm excited.
Dude, I love that, man. I've been watching you with your VAs and stuff. I don't know if you remember on PaintCon when we were doing we were all up on stage. It was me, you, Justin, and Mike. Remember?
Yeah.
And I had made a comment that I'm still old school. Like I love that face-to-face, hey, here's my office, here's my people. But man, it changed my perspective when Mike, I think it was Mike who said it. He's like, hey man, they're still part of the team. That hit me hard because the way he has it structured, he's like, just because they're a VA doesn't mean you treat them differently. Yes, they're a VA, but they're still your company. They're your culture. They're your receptionist or office manager or CFO, whatever they are in your business. And I was like, man, that's That's very facts, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing like what before we got on this call, a lot of people don't know. You and I chat real quick. We just catch up real fast, right? And you opened my mind again. So saying that with your receptionist, VA, they're overseas, you're like, well, you're still here in Florida. Like that triggered me because I think a lot of people too tend to treat their VAs a little differently too.
Mm.
And they go, hey, you're just only going to do this and that's it. And they forget to look at the other opportunities that they could provide for the company
Mm-hmm.
and their VA, right? And you just kind of put it on the map right there for us, right? You're like, hey, like they could be doing emails, they could be doing more calls. I get that all the time. They're like, I don't think I could hire a receptionist because I don't have enough for them to do. I'm like, dude, trust me. There's so much that they can do that you probably don't
Exactly.
think you can catch up on the things they can do.
Dude,
So,
I
yeah,
literally had to, and this is because I have two businesses, but I had to hire a VA just to keep everyone organized to
yep,
manage the two I had already because they were doing so much. I didn't know what they were doing every week because we have our weekly meetings and we go through our, checklist. Hey, here are the tasks we have done. Here's outstanding, blah, blah, blah. But then what happens is they get so into it, because I tell them, hey, look at what you're doing in your tasks. Obviously, you have your graphic design, your editing, and your outreach and all that. But think about income generating activities. If you guys want to get paid more, if you guys want to get bonuses and all this kind of stuff, we all have to be making money, right? So
yep.
I like tell them that, and they have that mindset. So now they're thinking, "Hey, Aiden, I have this idea. What do you think?" And I'm like, "It's genius." Or like, "Hey, here's
Yeah,
this course. If we bought, it's $10. If we all took this course, I think we could help do X, Y, and Z." And I was like, let's do it.
yeah,
So it's so funny that when you empower people, and this is something I didn't do early on, like when I was starting my businesses, I was always just, hey, do this because I said it and that's how I want it done. There
yep.
was no, hey, take some time to learn something and figure something out. And then whatever you think is best for the company, let's do. And they run with that because they
Wow,
know long term it's going to come back and help them out. So it's just
100%.
so much different dynamic. But back to like the organizational stuff, um, you guys can also have, you have your CRM for DripJobs. You can
Yep,
have a CRM just for their tasks, right? So we use
yep.
ClickUp and we just put all their tasks on there. Anything they're doing, they put, hey, it's going to be due this day, or Aiden, here's a task I need you to do so we can do this task and finish it. So it's just so interesting that we have this like organization now, and it's actually teaching me a lot about interacting with and keeping track of everything.
Love that.
It's
Dude,
really
you're always
cool.
dropping like an app. You're like, hey, we need guys, like you should be sponsored by yourself on ClickUp, the Paint Box app that you did last time or whatever it was. There's
Yeah.
always something, so that's awesome, man.
Well, I used to work with Verizon as a tech guy, and I was a business national like salesperson or whatever. And
Yeah,
my job was to go out and figure out what a business need and what system would work best for them, and then use the tablets, phones, or iPads as a medium to help them.
that makes sense.
So one deal I had was a daycare, and they did everything on paper, right? They were like, "Hey, you check in, you write your parent, the parent's name, what time, the date, and then signature. Boom. When you check out,
Oh,
here's your report for the week." So I came in and I said, "Guys, this is not the 1980s. So
yeah,
I said I worked with a partnership. It was a local daycare, not a local, but a daycare CRM, and they said, "Hey, and if you bring us more of these, we'll give you a commission." So I was making my own commission. I was making their commission. Like it was just so that was my job. I had to do discovery and figure out, hey, this app will help you. Yeah.
wow, love that, dude.
Like you said, the internet's like super powerful. So there's so much stuff out there that you don't even think about that we figure out to help you.
100%, man. It's always building, always looking for something that will help be more efficient and better for the future. So if you don't adapt, you get left behind. It's
Yeah.
quite
And now with Zapier, bro, I mean, you know it too, with automation and whatnot. Now you can just connect everything. So the
you're like,
app that you love, hey, this one's gonna help you do this much better, right? This little task or action, even better.
yeah, it's wild, dude. I love
It's
it.
crazy. Incredible. We've
Awesome, man.
had we've had guys that they downloaded an app for like a connecting CRM to DripJobs, and then they found something better and scrapped that whole thing in the matter of like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it's better for the organization. Why not? It's kind of like switching paints. It's like, hey, well, this person gives me a better price and it's better product. We're switching over.
Yep. Yep. Well, I guess I can't say nothing to that because I do the same thing. I'm very quick to be like, oh, that makes sense. Let's do it. Like,
You have to.
yeah, if it doesn't make sense, of course, right? But if it makes sense, there's nothing to think about. Just do it.
Yeah.
Handle it. Move
Dude, I
forward.
want to talk about this whole fitness thing that's going on. Mr.
But
100 for 100.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Talk to us.
oh man. So this one's gonna go a little deeper. I hope everybody's ready.
Okay.
Because everyone's seeing it and they only know the surface of it, but they don't know the why behind it. Um, so I got diagnosed with colitis a long time ago, and it was kind of a scary experience. Those of you that don't know what that is, it's really like an inflammation in your intestines. Um, so I remember the first time I was running production, I was still running production before I scaled myself out. Was the first time I had that first flare up. So I got a bacteria from a food allergy. Like they said it must have been from the fish the night before that I ate. Typically people get sick from traveling and then coming from another place that happens. So long short, I was hospitalized and I remembered being on morphine, taking paint orders and running job jackets and job sites from the hospital bed on morphine. I couldn't even lift up a machine. My wife is literally pushing me to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I have to take care of my guys. I was still in production. And in that moment, I realized I can't be the guy out in the field anymore. Like, I'm letting my team down if I get sick or something like that happens to me. That was a long time ago. Didn't have a flare up for a very, very long time. So what did I do? Started eating crap again, drinking, whatever the case may be. Got another flare up, right? And that after that was the scariest flare up. Remember when the podcast I was on with Andy Elliott?
Yeah.
That same morning is when it happened.
Mm.
Right before I got on that podcast, my stomach was cramping. I was like in pain and agony, and I was just pushing through that so that no one could know there was anything wrong with me. So that scared me, and I focused so much on mindset for so many years that I've completely let my body go. I stopped working out. I was avoiding situations by drinking a lot at the time. I don't drink very much anymore, but I did a lot back then. So instead of facing the issues, I would drink, which is avoidance, right? So a lot of things accumulatively happened. And I know it sounds crazy. Obviously, I saw Andy recently. I would say, I don't know, I think I'm on day 28 right now or day 29. I can't remember. But a week before I decided to do this, I saw Andy, and Andy just grabbed my arm. This is the reason why I put myself in a room with people that have high level thinking, past my high level thinking, right? And he goes, Joel, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, why? Right? And he's like, he's like feeling my arm a little bit. And, you got to get challenged by a guy who's like diesel, like ripped. And he just looks in my eyes. He's like, dude, you really need to be better. And he goes, you need to lead yourself. And, we talk about this all the time. I talk about it to my people. We talk about it. And it just hit me this last time when I talked to him. I was like, man, I need to show if I'm seeking mentorship from this high level person and I'm a mentor myself, I need to get over my thoughts. I need to get over my limiting belief systems. I need to get over all these things. And I said, I'm going to do exactly what I coach on now on the physical form. Because the mental, I'm straight. I'm good. I'm like, whatever. I built this bad boy up. But on the physical, I let it go. And Andy I just remember he spent 20 minutes of his time after I was working with Brendan, and he didn't need to sit down with me. He's got so many other things to do, and he sits down with me. He just really challenged me. And I needed that. Like, I look up to him, right? So I was like, man, in 100 days, I'm going to go to Andy's spot, and I'm going to show him I'm going to be ripped. I'm going to show him that I took my health so serious that his mentorship in 20 minutes, that's how serious of a student I am. I don't want to be a joke based off of these things. I'm going to show my community this is what it takes to be successful. So the other thing I'm doing differently is I'm doing it in 30 days. So never in my life have I ever worked out 30 days straight in my life.
Mm.
I've been fit most of my life besides these recent days, right? So I said, first 30 days, I'm working out 30 days straight. No specific routine. I'm not doing this whole gallon and read it 50 chapters and change your eating habits. I'm just going to work out for 30 days straight. After those 30 days, I'm going to add eating habits. I'm going to change my eating habits. Now I proved to myself I worked out for 30 days straight. The next 30-day phase, which is still working out, is I'm going to add the eating habits, because 80% of your goal is food intake. The other 20% is what you eat or what you work out. A lot of people don't know that. They think working out is everything. But actually, 80% of your success is food intake. So I'm a foodie. So I said, let me do workouts for 30 days. The next 30 days, let me focus on eating while working out, because I've already proved I can do the workout. Now I'm going to add the 30 days of eating. And then the last stretch to hit that 100-day goal, I'm cutting out 100% alcohol, 100% drinking all the water, so that in conclusion, you guys can see 30 days of working out, this is what Joel looked like. 60 days of working out and now adding 30 days of eating, this is what Joel looked like. 90 days of working out, cutting out alcohol, bringing in more water, focusing on these things. In 90 days, this is what he transformed to be. I see this day in and day out to all of my clients. They think they have to do 50 things at once to be successful. And I say always one thing at a time. Conquer that one thing. No different than these events, these boot camps, these things. Guys, just focus on one thing. Take a subject. I'm not saying delete all this stuff. I'm just saying take one thing.
Yeah.
And highly focus on it, hyper focus on it. Now the daily workouts is too easy. I almost don't want to stop working out every day. It's become a habit that I'm like, dude, I could do this for 365 days.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of what I did. And as you can notice, some guys are hopping in. Some guys are ears. I'm like,
amazing.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, like I love that you said you're taking it step by step, right? I mean, I was a victim of this, trying to go after everything at once. Like, I'm such an extreme person. When I'm all in on something, I'm like, I'm in, when it comes to something I love. And, certain things you go too all in on, or you pick up too much at once, and you're like, I can't sustain all this. Like, I've done every diet. I've done keto. I've done vegetarian, you name it. I remember I went to Philly one time. I ate a vegan cheesesteak in Philly. You know how much I got clowned for doing that shit, bro?
Yeah, I bet, man.
And it's just like, dude, you don't have to do these crazy fads or these things. It's just take one thing at a time, be consistent, and these are all like reasonable things. Work out, eat decent, right? Don't drink too much, drink more water. Like, this is consistent stuff that if you just do over the course of year in, year out, no matter what you're doing in your life, entrepreneurship, depression or whatever the case may be, well, you're not going to be less depressed, but like in general, if you just stick constant, you're going to be avoiding disease. You're going to be so much happier. It's just going to make your life so much better. And then you're not going to look back at yourself and say, damn, I fucked up all this time, and it's never too late, right? I would even challenge people right now, like, do the 100-day challenge, right? You're working out 100 days in a row. If you're willing to do that right now and you're listening, I want you to start and put on your story 1 out of 100 and tag Joel, tag the Paint Your Path podcast, and let's get on it. This got to be a challenge, because we got a bunch of people doing it right now. This is like a real thing.
It's motivating too to watch everybody doing it, because then you're like, oh man, like, it's almost like an accountability partner without even speaking to each other, because you're seeing it and you're like, okay, I got to show up, right? And there's no rules to this, right, guys? Like, I hope everybody understands, because like people are like, Joel, show your workout. I don't need to show you my workout. And I'm telling you this, why? Because you're going to see the results when I post my photos. Like, you're going to see my before. You see me in a hoodie. I'm doing it on purpose so that people don't see my progression yet. And you're going to see the progression of my results. I don't need to show you my workout. I don't need to show you my food every day. You'll see it once in a while so you know that I'm still on point, right? But when I do a blackout and it says 20 days out of 100, just trust my word when I tell you I'm working out. I'm putting in the work.
How
I
you
do
do
that on
one thing
purpose.
is how you do everything, bro. I mean, nobody should think that you're lying about it, you know. When
Yeah.
you come out and you're all tan at the Arnold Classic like this.
Well, dude, it's no different, right? Before we started the call, I looked at you. I'm like, bro, you're gaining some weight, but like good weight. Like you've been hitting the gym, right? You're like, yeah, I'm getting
Well,
there.
I'm getting tagged by people like, Peach and Ricardo out in Arizona. And
Yeah,
he says, make sure your painter can bench 225. So that's
that's
funny.
awesome, man.
I love it though.
Yeah,
It keeps me going and it gives me a reason to record myself in the gym, which I don't mind doing. Right.
yeah, yeah.
um, but no, I mean, even for me too, I felt you when you were kind of explaining the journey of the ups and downs of
Yeah,
health. I mean, when I would get too deep into my business and I didn't have the delegation skills or know how, or it was just me with my team grinding every day, doing everything. I
yeah,
literally looked like an anorexic dude. And then I
yeah,
would tell my wife, I'm done. I need to get ready. For 4 months, I would look fine. And then I would go right back to bulimic Aiden.
yeah, yeah.
So it's tough when you have so much going on in your life and your business and you're not consistent and you trying, because I was working out like Superman when I'm in there. But
Yeah.
then you get burnt out and you go back to, oh, I have too much going on. I just can't right now. You know, you got to
That's
be
the thing.
consistent.
What a lot of guys don't understand, and I say this respectfully, is like that's what helps us get through the hard times, right? And even on my group call last night, I was like, guys, just right before the call came on, I'm looking at the time. I didn't work out this morning. I told my wife, I really don't want to work out. Just because I said it out loud doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'm
Right.
also showing it's okay to say it, but still do the work, right? Like I did this on purpose because I'm going to speak my truth out loud. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do what I promised myself to do now.
Yeah.
But if we hold it and don't share how we truly feel about certain things, we will end up doing exactly how we feel versus what we should be doing.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's what I explained it. Sorry, my allergies are bad today.
Me
So I'm
too, bro.
like,
For sure.
but that's why I did the challenge. But I'm also want to show people like, hey, I'm still going to see the results of whoever did this all in from day one. If they did the eating, the drinking, water, and the everything else, I'm still going to get the same results at the end of the 100 days because I stuck to it
Yeah.
on my terms, but I did it consistently, and that's important for proof.
And here's how I know not only does it make a physical difference, it makes a mental difference. I was out golfing with Alex Corral the other day,
Yeah,
Mr.
Alex.
Cabinet, Mr. Boom Nominal, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm telling you, when I get in a room and I feel like I have good energy, people like to be around me. I try to be as contagious as I possibly can, right?
yeah, yeah.
He's on another level. He makes you feel like, damn, I need to get wired. This man literally he forgot his shoes, so he's golfing in his like loafers, right? And he's like, damn.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it, let's go. And we're out there, we're hitting, and it's like super cold. It's 7:30 in the morning, like it's real like moist out there in Florida. As soon as the sun comes out, he's like this, let's go. He's like absorbing it. He was like, fuck yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. And I'm like, dude, this is the result of working out like a monster for the last 15 years, whatever it is, just
Yeah.
being dialed in, eating right, like just conquering the world every day. And he's banging
Yeah.
on his chest and shit. And I'm just like, all right, I need to let's go. I'm jolting myself up. So, bro, it's contagious. And then imagine when you're on your sales, when you're leading people, when you're having conversations and networking, people see that and they're like, damn, there's something different about this guy. He's wired different. Really,
Yeah.
he just put in work for a long, long time, and now you're seeing the result of it.
100%.
Just he's crazy.
Dude, I related to the sun because this whole week it's been rainy out here in California. And the moment I had a nice sunny day, I was just like, my wife's sitting in the Jeep and I'm just sitting there like this. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like I was soaking it in. Like their energy's coming in right now. Let's go. Like it's just one of those things you got to tap into your environment when it comes out and it's ready for you. So
Dude,
yeah,
I was
I
surprised he didn't take his shoes off altogether and just go barefoot. You know what I
hey,
mean?
take that word now and do it.
For real. That's
Yeah,
how I
man.
am when I actually head. I try and get as much sun as I possibly can on it. I'm cleaning my golf clubs today outside just to make sure I get.
You like, it's gotta
Oh,
stay
snap.
even, my man.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
man.
awesome, dude.
All right. We
Good.
good?
We've been ripping. I like it.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's loving what we're doing. We have some more guests, right, Aiden? We got
Yeah.
some more guests coming in the pipeline. Uh, so yeah, guys, please start giving us questions, things that we want to be able to answer for you guys. We're getting some good feedback now, and we just want to give you value.
Yeah.
So that's it.
100%. And guys, I'm really serious about this 100-day challenge. All right. If you watch this episode and you're serious about getting your health together, go 100 days for the gym, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to structure it like Joel, 30 days just gym, 30 days eating wealth, and just the compound effect, it will change your life. 3+
Yes.
months of just grinding. What can that do for your life? Could be 30 minutes, could be 45 minutes. Get there, put it on your story, 1 out of 100. I'm starting. Tag Joel, tag Paint Your Path podcast. And dude, I hope we inspire people to actually take action. Not just the business side of things, but for your health and for your physical.
100%. Yeah. And here's the cool part is like, we're going to get excited. Like every time I get tagged, Aiden
Oh,
gets
dude,
tagged, we're
we're
like, let's
shouting you out.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
100%.
mean? So
There we go.
it's just one of those things, man. We're here for you guys, and just implement, take action. Yeah. You'll see the results. It's quite simple.
Excited for these upcoming guests, man. We have a stacked crew. I kind of name dropped already one of them, but it's all good. Joel, you want to end it for us?
Yeah, man. This is what I've said before in the past, a long time ago, but simplicity is the key to brilliance, right? Keep it simple, right? Like I said, this 100-day workout, it's supposed to be simple. And I know a lot of people like to complicate things because they think that the harder it is, the better the result. That's not always necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
So keep it simple. Simplicity is the key to brilliance. And that's Bruce Lee, my man.
Love it. All right, brother. See you guys in the next one.
Yeah.